In Texas, a woman who is accused of murdering her romantic rival in a love triangle escapes by faking a leg injury. In West Virginia, a teacher is headed for another type of detention after using duct tape on a student's mouth. And Mike's apparent love affair with Alec Murdaugh continues as he brings you some breaking news.
Oh, my God.
These stories and more are coming at you today, Monday, October 23rd on Real Life, Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino. I can't help it. The guy's just...
He
sexy.
is.
I mean, he's just sexy.
Well, he's definitely different.
Yeah.
And his news is interesting almost always, for whatever reason.
This bit of news is pretty interesting.
Yep. Yep, I have to agree. Alec.
Y'all had a good weekend?
Had a phenomenal weekend.
Good.
How about you, Mike?
My football teams all suck.
I'll be sitting in Wisconsin.
And football sucks. I am sick of quarterbacks getting like kissed, scratched, barely touched, and flags getting thrown for 50. What happened to football?
I agree with that.
It's supposed to be freaking
when I was
football.
a kid, you were supposed to knock the snot out of them. And
Well, they protect the quarterback a little bit too much for my taste these days.
It was so funny. I was watching last weekend because they were doing famous linebacker from the Chicago Bears heyday, Dick Butkus, passed away.
Yeah.
Best linebacker ever, in my opinion.
Okay, but they ran this package of like 3 minutes of Butkus highlights.
He was killing people.
Everything he did was a penalty today.
Right, yeah,
Every single thing in that package was 15 yards
That's a good
today.
point. Yeah.
Because that's the way they played back then. But now you can't. You can't do anything. I saw Tom Brady the other day with a post talking about how it's basically flag football for quarterbacks at this point. Ridiculous.
Well,
sorry, Giants, you suck anyway.
Into some crime time for Monday.
Got a crazy story out of Texas, and this was a pretty big story that just keeps adding events to it, and it is based around a woman named Kaitlin Armstrong. And this Texas woman is suspected in the love triangle murder of a romantic rival before she led U.S. Marshals on a 43-day international manhunt. And now she's accused of picking the lock on her handcuffs with a pen and making an escape. She spent months vigorously preparing for it. Now, let me tell you about this woman. Armstrong, 35, is scheduled to go on trial on October 30th for the shooting death of professional cyclist Anna Mo Wilson, who police found shot to death after she went on a date with Armstrong's boyfriend, fellow pro cyclist Colin Strickland. However,
you were going to say Lance Armstrong. Well, she was never with Lance, this one, right? No.
Not that I'm aware of. However, Armstrong made a last-ditch effort to escape on Wednesday, slipping her cuffs, stripping off her pants, and sprinting nearly a mile before cops tackled her. After the slaying, she flew to New York to obtain her sister's passport, and this is prior to this escape. Then Costa Rica. She dyed her hair and assumed a new identity. She began dating and teaching yoga in Santa Teresa Beach using fake names, including Beth, Air, and Liz. Now, this woman is, and it's important to say this, in shape. She is not only a yoga teacher, I mean, she looks in shape. She's and that's important to this story. When police arrested her, she had a bandage on her face that she claimed came from a surfing accident. Her lawyer denies that she got a nose job down there, but photos taken before and after appear to show differences in her face. So they eventually caught her in Costa Rica, but she had, they're thinking she had actually some work done.
She had to be in shape, but she also had to have access to money.
We're going to get into that. So she gets arrested. She gets brought back to the United States. She's in Texas. And last week, she says she has a leg injury. She convinces jail guards to bring her to an orthopedics clinic. Mm-hmm. So as she and two corrections officers are exiting the medical building after the appointment, Armstrong just takes off. The officers pursue her on foot for approximately 10 minutes.
They couldn't catch her. She's a jackrabbit. She used some Lance Armstrong's dope.
She literally sprinted a mile. That's crazy. The officers in hot pursuit, staying within eyesight of her. Investigators believe she used a metal pin, almost like a hairpin, and part of a spool of dental floss to pick the lock on her handcuffs.
Let me tell you something that's almost impossible. I've tried and tried. I spent years on cell blocks at nighttime trying to pick them. But if they had done her correctly, then the handcuff key would be on the inside, so you can't reach it. So
there you go.
They fucked up and put it on the wrong side.
Well, they did. She managed to pick those handcuffs, and she slips out of the cuffs during a 10-minute escape attempt. She ended up injuring 2 guards and sprinted for that mile. While on the run, she strips out of her black and white jail pants. She had on long thermal underwear underneath in an effort to disguise her appearance as an inmate. So it was the typical striped inmate clothing. You can literally see on the video, she's stripping, people see this and they get out the phone. Jailhouse surveillance video shows her exercising vigorously for months, running, doing squats and yoga to prepare for the escape. Because of her complaints of a leg injury, she was able to convince guards not to place her in leg restraints before she took off running. Smart thinking. A bystander recorded a few seconds of the short-lived event on a cell phone video. It shows Armstrong sprinting through the back of a parking lot as a guard tries to keep up. And we'll post this. The guard actually stumbles and falls. Early in the attempt, Armstrong started to scale a 6-foot-tall fence when the guard tackled her from behind. They both fell. She gets up, hops over, and keeps running. Armstrong is a former yoga teacher and high school athlete who maintained her active lifestyle, and while not a professional rider, was an avid cyclist before her arrest. So what she did to get in all this trouble, she's accused of killing Wilson on May 11th of 2022. Police say her Grand Cherokee appeared on surveillance video near the crime scene moments before the shooting, and shell casings recovered near Wilson's body matched Armstrong's pistol. Wilson and Strickland allegedly had a brief fling in the past. On the night of the murder, they went swimming together at a public pool in Austin, Texas, and then to dinner across the street. Police questioned her early in the investigation, but they let her go without charges. She sells the Jeep, skips town, and by the time she was named in an arrest warrant, authorities couldn't find her. She was being held on a $3.5 million bail in the murder case, a sum that is now increased by $50,000 for the escape attempt. So this lady has quite she has quite a gas tank. I mean, she, to sprint for that long, but very interesting case when you really dig into it. Yeah. And, thoughts go out to the family of the person she killed.
Get out. I mean, most people, when they escape, they're hiding in the local neighborhood. This chick was in Costa Rica having nose jobs. And she had to have money from
and
somewhere.
Couldn't have. She was 3 months.
Maybe she was like that Aussie lady and making $10,000 a day on OnlyFans or something.
Yeah, she might have been.
Yeah, but I don't know. Let's go back to school days, boys. And my parents used to make. Okay.
You just made me think of something with that case that I left out. So when they caught her in Costa Rica, she had $450,000 cash.
She had to have money from somewhere. Yeah. It's interesting because most people just don't have the means to get away, right?
Right.
We're going to go to Mexico. Well, motherfucker, you can't even make it a Taco Bell on your budget, right? Much less run for the border.
Exactly.
All right. So back to school days. I was pretty much the worst kid in my school and famous for it. And even at a very young age, my parents, my dad would, at the beginning of the school year, would bring the teacher a paddle, and it had holes in it. It was just for me. And I had probably once a week. I had to bend over.
Permission to.
I'd have to bend over in front of the whole class and grab my ankles, and they'd beat the shit out of me, right? Can't get away with that nowadays, but I don't think my parents would allow this to happen. So a 43-year-old West Virginia middle school teacher was arrested last week for allegedly physically abusing a juvenile male student. It's alleged that Sisler used duct tape as well as a stronger tape, must have been Gorilla Tape, to cover the student's mouth, bind his hands, and wrap his head during the class time. That's pretty fucking inexcusable. This occurred on 4 separate occasions. Sisler was taken into custody on Friday and charged with 4 counts of child abuse in connection to the conduct. According to the report, all 4 incidents involved Sisler using duct tape to restrain the student took place earlier this month in her classroom at Central Preston Middle School in Kingwood, West Virginia. A probable cause affidavit states the male student told troopers with the West Virginia State Police Department that Sisler first placed the tape over his mouth on October 2nd and repeated some form of the punishment every day through October the 5th. His teacher put duct tape over his mouth from ear to ear, police wrote in the affidavit, adding that the abuse took place in the middle of the class. The victim also noted that his lips and mouth were red and sore when he was able to remove the tape. You think? A similar situation unfolded on October 3rd, which is when the victim reported that Sisler again put duct tape over his mouth from ear to ear in the middle of class. The victim claimed that Sisler changed her tactics the following day, October 4th, when she again taped over his mouth from ear to ear, but also grabbed his hands and wrapped his wrists in duct tape. The victim went on to say, on Thursday, October 5th, Sisler once again escalated the seriousness of the situation by bringing in stronger tape, which she then wrapped around his head and over his mouth and onto his shoulders. Following her arrest, Sisler was booked into the jail in Preston County and held in lieu of a $40,000 bond, $10,000 for each of the charges, y'all. Preston County Board of Education Superintendent said he could not comment on Sisler's current employment status, but noted that the Board of Education has already contacted the appropriate authorities and they were cooperating and all that good bullshit. But, I mean, you know, if you can't spank a motherfucker anymore, how do you think you can get away with duct tape in their arms and heads and everything else?
Well, I would think West Virginia would be one of those places where maybe teachers would get away with more than, say, they might in California or New York. But how awful do you have to be as a kid? I mean, how just out of control awful do you have to be as a kid to get?
I don't know. Or how,
because she had to lose her mind completely.
And she had to bring duct tape.
Yeah.
I mean, so she had specific intent to tape this dude up.
They didn't give his name, but he might. That might be
premeditated.
And then when he was working his way out of the regular duct tape, she came back with some Gorilla Tape. You know, Gorilla Tape is so strong. Oh, yeah. My buddy flipped his truck one night and went to assist him, and all we had was Gorilla Tape, and Swim tied the Gorilla Tape to his truck and to that truck and pulled it. Not only did we pull it over, pulled it down the street, sparks flying.
You're kidding.
Nope. That's some bad shit.
No, I actually did some research and found out what happened on the first day of that story. So the kids refer to this kid, they just call him Dirty Johnny. That's his nickname in the school.
Where's the pee running down my leg?
And so the teacher was doing an alphabet. You know, she'd give a letter and have a kid in the class give a word and spell it that begins with that letter. So, you know, she'd go to Cindy, give me a word with A, and apple, A-P-P-L-E, and went all the way through the alphabet with all the kids in the class and got to R. Yeah. And she thought, well, there are no dirty words that begin with R. So she called on Johnny.
You know what he said?
And what did he say?
He said, R is for rat, R-A-T. And his teacher was saying, well, that's not so bad. And little Dirty Johnny said, big ass, dirty motherfucking rat.
With a dick this big.
Oh, yeah, with a dick this big. Yeah. I didn't never heard the dick part.
Sorry. Old Dirty Johnny Joe couldn't resist.
Other one was,
Jim's looking at us like what completed
was P. He got to the P and she was like,
that could be Dirty Johnny, though. We may have found it.
He said the whole alphabet and left out the P. She said, because he wanted to go to the bathroom. She said, Dirty Johnny, where's the P? He said, running down my leg.
I think we found Dirty Johnny.
No Dirty Johnny.
He's in West Virginia. Miss Sisler's class.
All right.
Sorry, folks. He's back.
Who?
Alec.
Oh, God. Here he comes.
We warned you that this could happen.
Yes, it could.
All-Woody team member, disgraced attorney, South Carolina prison system heartthrob, convicted murderer of Maggie and Pawpaw, and slippery as shit MFer Alec Murdaugh has won a significant legal victory in his quest for a new double murder trial. On Tuesday, the South Carolina Court of Appeals granted Murdaugh's request to hold his appeal in abeyance and remand the case to the circuit court. There in circuit court, Murdaugh's attorneys will file for a new trial based on newly discovered evidence under state judicial rules. Chief Justice Bruce Williams issued the order that reads, quote, "After careful consideration, we grant appellant's motion." The recent ruling to stay the appeal and remand the case for a hearing on Murdaugh's motion for a new trial is welcome news, Murdaugh's genius attorneys Harpootlian and the other guy Griffin said in a prepared statement. "We intend to proceed expeditiously and we will seek a full-blown evidentiary hearing addressing the serious allegations pertaining to improper jury communications by the clerk of the court." This lady, Rebecca Hill, the Colleton County clerk of the court, you may remember, released a book shortly after the trial. She's been involved in a couple of different TV productions around the trial, but this motion alleges that Hill instructed jurors not to be, quote, "misled by evidence presented in Mr. Murdaugh's defense," and told jurors not to be fooled by Mr. Murdaugh's testimony in his own defense. You might also recall that she was instrumental in getting a particular juror removed from the original jury pool, which I think is the main thing driving this puppy. So in early September, this motion was filed that alleged rampant jury tampering, including intentional removal of a juror sympathetic to the defense. And South Carolina law leans heavily toward the convicted criminal defendant in such cases. If these allegations are substantiated and found true, a new trial would be the result. So Tuesday's development was the first important hurdle in this thing. Murdaugh's attorneys say it's only a matter of time that Alec is entitled to a new trial and will get a new trial. Whether it's Judge Newman by the Court of Appeals, by the Supreme Court, or by the federal courts, based on the evidence that we have developed, he is entitled to a new trial. The prospect of a second trial of the century would be a major embarrassment to the state. This I did not know, but the original trial was the longest in the history of the state of South Carolina and the most expensive in the history of the state of South Carolina. So they could be going in for the second time here because it seems like this woman might have gone too far.
Get a jury from where?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be a tough one. Regardless of that, though, he's in trouble for all that fraud shit. He'll never get out of jail.
He's a murdering piece of shit.
Even if that case never got tried again.
They're still going to get him. They'll get him again.
Yeah.
So. Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says It makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Hey, y'all. Changing my wardrobe from summer to fall, it's never easy. Luckily, Quince offers timeless and high-quality items I adore. Ensure my wardrobe stays fresh and I don't blow my budget. And there's nothing easier than going to Quince and choosing these high-quality items, like cashmere sweaters from $50, pants for every occasion, washable silk tops, and so much more. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, and I love that. I got the stainless steel Link Apple Watch band for $59.90. It's heavy duty, it's awesome, and it's like $100 less than I could find anywhere else. And I also got a 100% organic cotton fisherman quarter zip up sweater. The color is alabaster. Man, I can't wait to wear that this fall. And Cindy got the Mongolian cashmere boat neck sweater in heather gray. And I'm telling you, these are classic pieces at a fraction of the price. Make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/RLRC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/RLRC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/RLRC. You'll thank me later.
Oh, we cover a lot of different crimes on this show. One I'm not sure if we've ever covered was contractor fraud. Major issue. I'm sure there's a lot of listeners out there that have maybe been on the other side of contractor fraud, which is absolutely a disgusting way to make a living. But pool company in Florida is in some really hot water, no pun intended. The Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody is suing a pool construction company and its owner for ripping off dozens of customers. Cox Pools of the Gulf Coast and its owner Hillary Bello misrepresented the timeline for the pools to be built and refused to issue refunds to customers for work not performed. Moody said customers paid the company more than $1.5 million on untimely and unfinished projects. Both Erica Villalobos and Philip Majewski said their financial future is in ruins because Cox Pool of the Gulf Coast were tanked financially for years to come. All the plans and college funds are on hold for the next 5 years. It's very difficult. Majewski's pool sat unfinished in his backyard for months after signing a contract with Cox Pools in April of 2021 to build a pool. He paid the company $70,000 in the form of 3 installments, but he said the company just stopped construction in July of 2021, and they tried to blame that on materials and labor. He said the last communication with the company was in December of 2021 when they told him his pool would be completed by May of 2022, but he never heard back from them. It was a similar story for many other customers. One customer in particular paid Cox Pools of the Gulf Coast $64,000 for a pool that was eventually finished, but they said multiple parts were installed incorrectly, costing them tens of thousands of dollars to fix. In June, Bello was arrested by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office and charged with embezzlement and organized fraud in connection with unfinished pools. Moody filed this lawsuit against Bello and the company on Monday, seeking a monetary judgment against them for misrepresenting the timelines for the pools to be built and refusing to issue refunds to customers for work not performed. Cox Pools and its owners ripped off more than 25 Florida customers, taking more than $1.5 million and never finishing the agreed upon jobs. The consumers were left with dangerous holes in their backyard and severe financial losses.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, and look, it happens. You know, it's not limited to pools.
Hey, it happened to me after Katrina didn't get my fishing camp, but Rita did, and dude came in and I gave him a down payment for materials or whatever.
Yeah.
He skipped. Like I wasn't going to arrest his fucking ass.
Well, the timing there, because it's one of those things where if you do that to somebody with a pool, it's not like they're not going to come after you.
Yeah,
it's a pool.
They got money.
And so April of 21, because I had just moved here, I was going through the construction of, we did some demolition work and we're reconstructing parts of the house. And after Ida, forget about it.
Right. You can't
supply chain
workers.
Problems. I couldn't get any of the stuff, appliances I'd ordered for the kitchen.
Yep.
And half of the workers had gone to Texas and other went places where they could get work. And so, given that that timing, which is it's pandemic timing, obviously as well. It just, I don't know why the guy didn't just declare bankruptcy, because it looks like that should have been the route he should have gone down, because his business was falling apart.
Still getting more checks from other people. Yeah.
Ugly.
Look, let's come back to Ago's hometown now, New Orleans, right? And if you're going to carjack somebody, I guess you don't really know. It'd be like if they try to carjack me, they're going to spring leaks. But Jason Williams, who serves as the district attorney in New Orleans, y'all is going to be one of the ADAs. He's not the head guy. Was held.
I thought he was.
Is he? Well,
yeah, I think he is.
Maybe he's new in. Then I missed. Well, I've been out for a while. So
we've been thinking it's Harry Connick Sr.
Yeah. So Jason Williams, who serves as the district attorney in New Orleans, was held at gunpoint on Monday night as carjackers took his vehicles. Williams was helping his 78-year-old mom into the car at the time. Both Williams and his mother are unharmed. The armed suspects involved in the carjacking were also responsible for another carjacking in the area. D.A. Williams and his mother were unharmed and both thanked the NOPD for their hard work tonight and every night responding for crime victims. A spokesman for the DA's office said. NOPD have now arrested a man in connection with the carjacking in the Lower Garden District. Y'all's people had been got, the man told police.
Y'all's people had been got.
Yeah. The man's name is Raymond Rochon, 18, and he's been charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and possession of a stolen vehicle, which means they can't prove that he was the one that did the carjacking. They just found him in the vehicle. Williams was helping his mother, that's the DA, Janice Rogers, into the back of the sports utility vehicle in the 1000 block of Ray Street when the two masked men pulled up beside them driving a blue pickup truck. Armed with handguns, they demanded the SUV. And less than 30 minutes later, and just a few blocks away, the same blue pickup truck pulled up alongside a woman at 1800 block of Barone Street. Two masked men demanded the woman's Honda Civic at gunpoint, and she was not injured. Police used surveillance footage to determine the license plate of the pickup truck, and guess what? It was stolen also. At 8 a.m. Tuesday, police found the truck parked on North Moore Street in New Orleans East. Police surveilled the vehicle for more than 8 hours before they saw three men, all wearing black, guess they were dressed for work, headed back toward the truck. One of the men was Raymond Rochon. The keys to the stolen truck were in Rochon's hand, and Rochon confessed to the police on the spot. It's not immediately clear if the other suspect remained at large, and the incident is a reminder of the crime issues New Orleans is facing. And according to a July report from Wallet Hub, New Orleans ranks fourth in the country in homicides with 10.42 homicide cases per 100,000. So all you fans that were in the Superdome on last Thursday night when New Orleans played, 10 of you got killed. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell has impaneled a task force, blah, 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 whatever. She's an idiot. I ain't credit her with anything.
Would you consider that an official break of our no politics policy on the channel?
Just because her name was in there and she's an idiot? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to be a little more lax with these kind of things.
Well, I want what kind of luck do you have to have?
Right,
to
your ass is
carjack the freaking DA.
I mean, that's
right.
Your ass is
chief
going
of
to
police
prison
or something.
That's when they broke into my ship when I was up hunting in Red River, and I had to come home and I just got lucky, right, and did some shit, and I got all my shit back. But that guy for car burglary got him 7 years, which is unheard of. He didn't have a criminal history. I told the DA I something wrong with that motherfucker in jail, and they did it, and then they let him out. They called me after 3 years and said, he's up for parole. Do you care? Because we'll certainly keep him here. I said, I don't care. If he gets out, tell him if he ever comes around my house again, I'm going to kill him. So,
well, I'll tell you, guaranteed they're not going to be plea bargaining with this.
No, he said the Attorney General's office is going to have to have it. He's got to recuse himself. It's not like he can get one of his ADAs up there to prosecute him.
That's funny. I wonder, it's New Orleans. I wonder if he will.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe they'll get the mayor to do it.
Well, you know what they say, guys. Hell hath no fury.
Like a woman scorned.
And this Navy petty officer would be the woman scorned in our story.
Navy.
Is he authorized for Navy stories?
I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought I only reported Navy stories.
I'm NCIS, all NCIS related stories because I am a major fan of very special agent Anthony Donoso from the NCIS series. So I get to do
we'll give you content over services this time.
I've got so much goodwill in now with the board. It's, I had so many opportunities to sue you guys over this egg thing that I just let fly.
You're going to get sued anyway. I think I'm going to sue you right now.
A member of the U.S. Navy who claims to be the spouse of a Jamaican parliament member is being detained in Jamaica over a complex murder-for-hire plot that killed his lover and their 10-month-old daughter. Jamaican authorities allege that Leota Bradshaw, a Navy petty officer and cook stationed in Miami as part of a recruiting team, stands accused of 2 counts each of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy to kidnap. Prosecutors say she hired 2 hitmen. She did not go to rentahitman.com, which might have helped her in this case. She hired 2 hitmen to kill Toshina Patterson and her daughter, Soraya Paulwell, in a jealous rage after discovering that her romantic partner was the child's father. Both were brutally murdered and both bodies were disposed of, Kingston Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey said at a press conference last week. It was one of the...
Oh, my God.
All right, Jim, give us a Jamaican accent.
Hey, man.
It was one of the most painful investigation for that team I seen. That's what he said. Authorities say Bradshaw conspired with her cousin, Roland Balfour, age 30, to contract 2 men who ultimately ended up kidnapping and murdering the mother and daughter and then burning their bodies. She learned of the existence of young Paulwell on Wednesday, the 5th of September, a prosecutor told the judge on October 14th. Having learned of the existence of the child, she contacted Patterson on Facebook and informed her that she was Paulwell's wife and that she had learned about their affair and their love child. Bradshaw advised Patterson that a DNA test should be done to determine the paternity of the child. After this brief exchange, the now deceased Patterson blocked Bradshaw from her social accounts. The man at the center of the defendant's alleged jealousy is a well-known member of Jamaican Parliament by the name of Philip Paulwell. The past few weeks have been extremely difficult for me as I grappled with the abduction of my daughter and her mother, Paulwell said on Instagram. That anyone could murder a mother and an innocent baby is unimaginable, and my heart is heavy with sadness. The member of parliament has not addressed the allegations made by Jamaican prosecutors that the woman alleged to be responsible for the 2 deaths is actually his wife. The allegations are that she traveled to Jamaica for the sole purpose of killing Toshina Patterson and the young child she shared with her spouse. The Crown's allegations are that the accused, through her cousin and co-accused, Roland Balfour, contracted men to kidnap and murder the 2. Balfour stands accused of 2 counts each of conspiracy to commit murder and conspiracy to kidnap. The 2 other men involved Roshan Miller, 29, and Richard Brown, 30, face various charges as well. The Crown's case is that Bradshaw took Patterson to Stony Hill, which is in the vicinity of the home where she was staying. At this location, Bradshaw handed over Patterson and Soraya to the Richard Brown guy that we just talked about. After this, Patterson and her young child were taken to another location where they were shot and killed and their bodies burned. The case is before the Supreme Court Justice Simone Wolf-Reese, that's Supreme Court in Jamaica. The Navy acknowledged the petty officer's arrest in comments to WTVJ in Miami. The matter is currently under investigation still by Jamaican authorities and the NCIS, that's Naval Criminal Investigative Service. The agency said. So I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah. Sounds like
serious business.
Predictions, pain.
Sounds
for her.
like
military stuff.
Right?
Denozo needs to get
she
down
might
there.
Catch a firing squad.
Military gets involved is bad.
They canceled the NCIS Los Angeles. They canceled the LL Cool J show.
Never watched it.
I think they canceled after. Biden called him LL Cool or something during something where he was getting an award.
I don't watch it.
Maybe it was after that, and they decided he wasn't cool enough to have a show anymore. But I want them to bring DeNozo back and put him in LA. That would be perfect. So
duly noted, sir.
Yes, important for all you NCIS fans.
So we've done
24 seasons that show ran, by the way. I mean, it's a pretty successful show.
Sorry. Beat that record.
So we have covered many stories on here about squatters.
Yep.
Yes,
and one in particular in the Baton Rouge area that was trying to sell a house. He was squatting in. How about that? But I think we one up that this time because we got some squatters in Atlanta that ran an illegal strip club inside the home they were squatting.
Nice. Good idea.
How about that?
You got to make use of the premises.
That's right. 4 men were arrested in Atlanta for squatting in a home and running an illegal strip club out of the residence. A SWAT team infiltrated the home Sunday and arrested 4 men who were illegally living in a home in the Thaxton Reserve community of South Fulton, Georgia. Neighbors said that the group of 4 were neighbors from hell who ran an alleged strip club on the weekends, street raced up and down the residential streets.
Don't draw attention to yourself.
And occasionally, get this, had live horses in the front yard.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. A lot of partying. They had an illegal strip club on the weekends. One neighbor told the news they would get out live horses. One day they had live horses, another neighbor said.
I can't figure out where the horses fit.
Yeah, where the horses fit into the strip club business model. That's
I think Woody's on the track right there. Neighbors regularly complained about the squatters, but nothing was done until Sunday when a SWAT team raided the trashed property. So they brought in SWAT for that one. Plate readers indicated a stolen car was on the property. And authorities also found a stolen gun, 2 stolen cars, stolen IDs, and stolen credit cards inside the home.
But his horses were stolen too.
Yeah. Officials identified the 4 squatters, and all 4 suspects were booked into the Fulton County Jail on multiple charges, including several counts of theft by receiving stolen property. Police said they are now monitoring the home to make sure no one returns. Wow. So somebody's going to show up and be like, where's the strip club?
Or where the horses are on
or
the
where
track.
the horses. Yeah.
The horses are on the track.
I mean, you can't make that
really
up.
Could get
Horses,
tax evasion
strippers.
too, because that they were getting a percentage from the strippers, and the strippers weren't W-9 employees. Or whatever.
That would have been a great Ashton Kutcher bit on the show, where
funny.
Takes over somebody's house and turns it into a strip club.
Funny.
They should have had like a little
great business model load overhead.
Well, with the Gold Club shut down, I'm sure there's an opportunity in the market there.
Somebody's got to dance. All right, this is a very serious story, disturbing, sickening. I don't say that lightly. So Zion Williams is a 10-year-old boy found dead in a garbage can behind his Illinois home, wearing only a pair of Spider-Man pants. Is believed to have died from an accidental self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Oh, my God.
A detective investigating the circumstances of the boy's death provided sworn testimony in which he stated that 2 of the victim's siblings told investigators Zion was playing with a loaded firearm before his death. The testimony came in court proceedings for the boy's mother, 37-year-old Sushi Staples. She is facing, this is where it gets disturbing, y'all. She is facing multiple felonies, including obstruction of justice, failure to report the death of a child under 13, I guess it matters between 13 and 14, destruction of evidence and concealment of the death, moving a body for allegedly tossing her son's corpse in the trash and leaving him to rot for the better part of a year. Authorities have said they believe Staples refused to report the child's death because doing so would have prevented her from being able to collect certain state benefits. So for grub stubs, she didn't report the death. Mm-hmm. In a preliminary hearing for Staples, Rock Island Police Department detective explained that Zion's two siblings told detectives that Zion died because he was playing with a handgun and accidentally shot himself, and it allegedly happened in the basement. It's not clear who owned the gun Zion was allegedly playing with or how he came into possession of it. Shepard also testified that when he interviewed Staples, she stated several times that she did not have a son until she finally admitted to moving the little boy's body because she didn't want her other 4 children to locate his body in the basement. He also noted dryer sheets in every vent of the house, likely placed there to conceal the smell of Zion's decomposing body. Police responded to the family home in July and opened a garbage can in the backyard garage, which is where they found Zion's body. Officers arrested her when they found his body. Officials said he appeared to have been inside the canister for at least 8 months. They believed he died last December. Heather Tarkazan, a spokeswoman for the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services, called Zion's death a profound tragedy. When DCFS receives concerns about a child's welfare, they do not meet our statutory purview for an investigation. We refer to the reporter of that case to local law enforcement. In this case, when an anonymous reporter called DCFS hotline in July 2023 and requested a well-being check of the child, that caller was told what our capabilities as an agency are and was encouraged to report their concerns to local law enforcement. Out of genuine concern and based on what the caller reported, the DCFS hotline worker also made a call directly to law enforcement to ensure that the report was filed. And this nastiness is in bail on a $500,000 bond. Bro, that's so sick. So sick. I mean, how much money could
I don't know.
How much money could the state be giving you in grub stubs and welfare that you're going to leave?
And you know your other kids are away.
It's crazy, bro. Crazy.
Wow.
I don't get it. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser-cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday host and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Okay. Well, we talked about this back on, I guess it was the Monday after the Saturday, so it must have been on the 9th of October that we first talked about what is going on in the Middle East right now. And I want to just give you not a long, but an update on where things are in case you're like a lot of people out there that just couldn't bear to or can't bear to stare at the TV or listen to the stories anymore, because some of them are pretty tough to hear. But back on the 7th of October, terrorist attacks killed an estimated 1,300 Israelis, including elderly women, children, and some babies. Some of the killings were particularly brutal. They also killed nearly 30 Americans, which a lot of Americans don't realize. 30 Americans are dead. Mm-hmm. To this moment, they're holding nearly 200 hostages. 199 is the official count of hostages still being held in Gaza by Hamas. Over the past 10 days, protests have broken out across the globe, including here in the United States. Many of these protests are happening on college campuses and in big cities. Ivy League institutions like Cornell, Harvard, University of Pennsylvania have been particularly prominent in these protests. The protests were not against the terrorists who launched the attacks on 10/7, but rather they are anti-Israel protests. On Tuesday of this week, we were told by the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, CNN, MSNBC, the Washington Post, and many others that an Israeli missile had hit a Baptist hospital inside of Gaza, killing an estimated 500 civilians. All of those news outlets and many others made those reports on Tuesday. Less than a day later, the Department of Defense had gathered all of the evidence necessary, including visual, radar, audio, and video, that conclusively confirmed that 1, the missile did not come from Israel, 2, that it came from inside, not outside, Gaza, meaning it came from either Hamas or it came from another terrorist splinter group inside of Gaza. 3, the missile that actually hit the hospital parking lot, which is adjacent to the hospital, not the actual hospital. It's likely there were casualties, sure there were, but with the hospital clearly intact, which we can see from video and pictures following the explosion, the casualty number would be far, far less than the 500. I've said this before, but it's so evident. You just can't trust the traditional sources of news that we've all trusted in the past, whether it's MSNBC or it's Fox News and everything in between. They all have agendas, and most of those agendas don't include the need to share the truth with you. Mainstream media and the universities are just, what they're doing in this country and what they've done over the last few years is just unbelievable, and the impact it's had on our youth. And so take no pleasure in telling you any of that, but that is the latest on what is happening there and what's happening around the world in response to what's happening.
The main
there.
thing is, the killing is still going on, hostages, and who knows what unreported crimes, rapes, murders, whatever. And ultimately, there's going to be hell to pay, right? And more murder. It's not going to be murders. Everybody has the right to defend themselves, and if you don't go in and do what the Israelis are about to do, then it can happen again. But like that guy said, he said, we're about to hit them so hard, they're going to feel it for generations, which means a lot more death.
Yeah.
but punch me in the mouth, I'm going to punch you back.
So there's your, unfortunate report on that.
Prayers for all those people on both sides. Not the terrorists. I mean, people getting killed on both sides.
Well, I'm about to give you a WTF.
What the? Hey, listeners, I want y'all to send in. That's the one segment we don't have a thing for. Y'all send it in. See what you can come up with.
And when I saw this story, I was definitely like, WTF.
WTF.
All right. So a man's body was found at an abandoned North Carolina home, but was mistaken for a mannequin.
Yeah.
I don't know how. That from his mother.
Yeah.
A groundskeeper told authorities that he thought the body of Robert Owens, 34, was a training dummy being used by law enforcement.
Oh, my God.
The body of a North Carolina man was found at an abandoned log cabin and was initially assumed to be a mannequin used by police. Authorities reported this on Tuesday. China Grove police identified the victim as Robert Owens. Authorities said they found Owens deceased at a residence. And during the investigation, it was learned that the groundskeeper saw the body the day before as he was mowing the property. However, the groundskeeper stated he believed the body to be a fake dummy used for training by numerous law enforcement agencies on the property over the last few years and did not report it. Huh. Another worker on the property notified police about a body, and police went and investigated that. Owens was found face down in the grass with little clothing on him. Don't know how you can do that, Haley Shue, Owens' sister, said. Mow right beside someone and assume that they're Halloween decorations at a house no one lives at?
He cut around and you didn't get out and move it because you didn't do your job.
And then the victim's mother said, I don't know how he was mistaken for a Halloween decoration or a mannequin. Shue said that the construction worker on the property told the family that Owens had cuts and scrapes on his arm like defensive wounds. Authorities who were investigating the death had said earlier there were no signs of foul play, but the family has questioned that. It has to be. He didn't end up here in his socks and underwear face down by himself.
In Louisiana, they could get parish forensic Roy and the two Christians conduct that independent autopsy. But you know what? He had to mow around the dude. If you're cutting the grass, you had to mow around the dude because you're too lazy to go. But in his defense, it just hit me. He could just be like, what the fuck? Thinking your brain can't comprehend because you've never seen a DB or a dead body. And you're like, cops must have left it there.
Yeah.
And the cops' mannequins, training mannequins don't have clothes. But this dude had drawers on
and socks.
Oh, it's socks. Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't know that, though. But it's kind of hard to confuse the two.
Well, it's definitely a WTF.
It's definitely a WTF. We can give you that. What the fuck?
That's it.
All right. Let's do it. Here we go. Kinky Crimes for Monday. And here we go, y'all. And I'm pretty sure everybody in this room has done this and just didn't have cameras back in the day. But a man and a woman engaged in sexual relations inside an MBTA elevator in Boston were arrested this past Monday on warrants, police said. Officers responded to a report of a couple fornicating in an elevator around 10 p.m.
Is that illegal?
Exactly. In Boston, and learned the suspects were wanted on several warrants out of Boston Municipal Court, according to the transit police. Some charges the man and woman were wanted for include assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, breaking and entering, and assault and battery on a police officer. This is a tweet issued by the police department, y'all. It says 10:16, 10 p.m., hashtag MBTA State Street, TPD off officers respond for a report of a man/woman engaged in sexual relations inside elevator.
That's awesome.
Officers encountered the duo and determined there were several warrants and blah, 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 blah. Swim might know something about the Hyde elevator with the glass and connect to the Superdome.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I don't know about that. I can't tell you.
The glass elevator.
Yeah.
But see, if you're a cop and you know that, why wouldn't you immediately go to where they're taking where the video cameras are and just watch for a little while before
back in Swim's day, there wasn't any kind of cameras like that.
Oh, so I'm
not saying that I ever did it on elevators.
No, you were talking about Swim anyway. You weren't talking about you.
Right. Someone visited me.
Elevator's interesting.
Yeah.
You ever been on an elevator and someone get on like a pretty woman and it's almost like awkward?
Yeah.
Like on the elevator.
Is he going to rape me?
I'm a normal guy, I promise.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and you don't know what to say.
Don't mind the erection.
You don't want to say anything.
You get on the elevators packing, somebody farts.
Oh, God. Yeah.
That's just something to say you did. There's no good sex in an elevator.
I mean, you can hit the hold button when the alarm goes off, but then people are coming.
It'd be kind of like the Mile High
Crime. You can't do it
thing.
Nowadays.
Uncomfortable.
I bet it's a lost art. Screwing on the elevator is a lost art because everybody has camera now. I hadn't even thought about that. 30
Some
years.
people might like that though.
Yeah,
let them watch.
Maybe you should publish a life hack on how to still have great sex in an elevator despite surveillance cameras.
I've never had great sex in an elevator.
Oh, okay. Well, then don't do that.
And I'm a virgin too.
You remember on Eastbound and Down when what was the guy that owned the car delership? Played by Will Ferrell. And he's like, let him watch, Betty.
Let him watch.
We digress right there. Trust me, watch Eastbound Down.
There was some hard to watch.
Let the boy watch.
Let the watch.
There was some very hard to watch.
All right, give us some banjos.
I was still thinking about the elevators. All right, Mike.
Swim the podcast.
Well, the following is a dumb crime of the worst possible kind I could think of ever reporting.
All right, here we go. This ought to be good.
It is a crime of etiquette.
Oh.
Dinner parties often involve quality time spent with friends, good food, good wine, good conversations,
right,
etc. One thing they usually don't involve is being charged by your host. Which is why Millicent was absolutely shocked when her friend Daphne threw an unexpected curveball at Millicent and her other dinner guests. At the end of the night, Daphne handed each of the couples a leather folder containing the cost of their meal and providing her PayPal and Zelle account information. The four couples were so taken aback by the unexpected bills that each complied with the request.
Right.
Millicent was so taken aback by the experience that she took to social media to vent about it. Quote, "We were invited to a friend's house for dinner. We took a nice bottle of wine with us. We wouldn't ever go empty-handed," she began. "We had a good meal. But would you believe that at the end of the dinner, the host couple handed each of us a bill for the evening? I thought, the nerve of this bitch. I would never ask anyone to pay for their food if I invited them over." She then asked the Facebook group if she was justified in being annoyed and added that she and her husband had already invited this couple that just charged them to their place for dinner in a few weeks and wondered what she should do in response. Everyone was quick to weigh in on the eyebrow-raising saga. One person wrote, "What's wrong with some people? If they couldn't afford to host, they shouldn't have asked everyone over and to bring a plate of food. They should have said, come over and we'll get takeout together if y'all don't mind paying for your share. But to ask for money afterwards is crazy." I say the only thing worse than a dumb criminal is a cheap host.
Yeah, that was pretty.
And she deserves some banjos.
Pretty dumb.
She definitely deserves banjo.
I've been like, fuck you.
I mean,
go ahead, Mike.
I can't believe I had one guy that when I was in New York, we you work together with people. You run out in New York City for lunch a lot because you just get down the elevator outside the building and you got 10 places to choose from that are a block away.
The elevator you had sex
at Dag Hammarskjöld Plaza in New York. No, never had sex on that. Did see the assassination of what's his name? That's Sparks right from there. Yeah. But this particular guy would usually two guys are going to like a pizza place. The bill comes, it's $18.99, right? This guy would audit the bill and would be like, well, my food was $7.45 and your food was $10.55. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
But, some people are just, they just grow up like that. And
it's all kind of make the world go around. I get it. But,
charging
you're never come
people
to my house
at the end of a meal when you've invited them all over.
You're never coming to my house and having to pay for anything, period. I'm the hostess with the mostest.
That's right.
Right.
Eat that food. Look, I just got like 50 texts from people.
What?
They're mad.
And so this is what we're going to do for you people that are still with us right now.
Right.
We're going to play the let him watch aspect of Eastbound and Down right here.
Okay, look him in the eye, Kenny, in the eye.
Well, I'm looking in his eye.
It's all in the eyes, Kenny. Don't blink.
What you got? Stone cold.
Yeah, they are.
Piercing through your ass.
This is what I'm talking about. A fucking showdown. Potential Ashley Schaefer BMW buyers. Is that what you want? Is that what you want?
I don't cry, motherfucker.
Let me tell you something. I had a dream about this moment when I was making love to my wife, Donna. On top of her. Powerful thrusts. Feeling the sultry night air. Heavy breath. My son Gabriel walked in. Little boy. My wife sprung out of bed and said, "No, Gabriel, leave." I said, "No, honey. Shut your mouth, let him watch. Let him watch what is being consecrated here, and I want the people to watch what's going to be consecrated here. And I will bring my son down here, and he will watch. He will watch you two battle it here. You two becoming one. Okay?"
I had found this thing the other day, and it was part of something I had done with a group of friends a while ago. And you guys have played FMK, I assume, at some point, right?
FMK.
Fuck, marry, kill?
No.
So you're given three people, three names.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And you have to choose one to F, one to marry, and one to kill.
Fuck that, I ain't getting married again.
And this was one that like stumped the whole group. And it just so happened to be in this packet of stuff. But these are like the 1990s, the three hottest hotties of the 1990s. That's Elle Macpherson on the left.
I know who.
Kathy Ireland
in the middle. And
did you ever see her when she was the kicker?
Who's the third one?
It's Rachel Hunter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't want to be rude, but I believe her vagina's eating a swimsuit.
Vagina's eating. So FMK on this, Woody?
I'm not touching that.
You're not playing FMK?
Playing that.
we on the air?
Oh, God.
I ain't stupid.
I'm sorry, Kathy. I still believe that all
Swim would play about
real men from the 90s all pick Kathy Ireland.
Did you ever see her when she was the
field goal kicker?
Field goal kicker, yes. One of the best ever.
What was that? That was some really bad football
yeah, but
movie.
It was great, baby.
All right, so it's another This Day in Crime for October 23rd. We're going to go way back to 42 BC first, and Marcus Brutus, known simply as Brutus, a leading conspirator in the assassination of Julius Caesar, died by suicide after his defeat at the Second Battle of Philippi, or Philippi, one of those two.
I don't think news gathering operations were trustworthy enough back in the day to rely on that.
Well,
data.
that's what they say. I can't verify.
Can you
can't verify?
Find the original tablet on Google, the rock that they wrote that on.
Doubtful. 1930, Giuseppe Joe Alio is killed. He was known for having a long war with Al Capone, which eventually led to an ambush and his death.
Al had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So that was two.
There's no gangsters in Chicago.
Interesting crimes that took place in October 23rd.
There you go.
What was the year of the Caesar deal there?
42 BC.
42 BC.
It's been a minute.
Wow.
Been a minute.
Been a little while.
So, without further ado, we love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for liking and sharing and doing all that good podcaster shit. Leave us a review if you get a chance, and we love y'all.
Shout out to Julius Caesar.
Yeah, straight up.
If he's listening, yes.
Is he the March Ads guy?
He's a lifer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a lifer.
I think he is.
The Caesar salad.
All right. Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino.
For Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.
Aglets.